Previously on Dances with Dice. When last we left our heroes, Eisen, the half-elf cleric, Karma, the tiefling wizard, and Emiria, the elven monk. They rest and relax from the aftermath of battle. Resurrections performed, feelings confessed. Now, as a dawn continues to break, our heroes deal with the aftermath of war and what comes next. What awaits our heroes this week on Dances with Dice.
All right, the rest of the morning, because this is still technically the morning after, the morning is yours. Eisen, I will say you arrive back at the tipsy table probably about 10, maybe 11-ish o'clock.
I was telling you that we're recording now. You need to get a fucking phone. I said it in the most loving possible way, in the most loving, gentle, caring possible way, obviously.
Yeah, Hannah, how many Discord DMs do you have open right now?
None. I have D&D tools to classes in Player's Handbook version 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to remember what class my first ever D&D character was.
Eisen, you arrive back at the tipsy table. It's about 10, maybe 10:30 in the morning. Emiria, at this point, you guys have basically cleaned up Draft's Tower as much as possible. That professional construction would need to get involved. And Karma, are you finally awake?
Yes.
Karma, you awake. There's a note next to you that Eisen wrote.
She's gonna grab it and she's gonna read it.
Okay, it's the note that Eisen wrote, gone for a walk.
Oh.
The heart there.
She blinky. She crawls out of bed over to her cloak. She grabs the pin off the cloak and she goes into it and she goes, "Where did you go?"
Eisen, as you arrive at the front door, your head starts ringing with Karma's voice.
This is the exact reason why Karma doesn't need to take sending as a spell, because she has a pin for that.
I forgot we had those.
You've never used them.
I forgot we had Yale Star Trek pins.
Every time I question, like, why the fuck don't I have sending? And then I remember, that's the only reason I remember, is that every time I look at my spell list and I think, why the fuck don't I have sending? I remember we have those pins that do it for us, so I don't need to waste the spells.
We have yield Star Trek.
Yeah, exactly.
Communicator pins.
And she's like all like hunched.
Fantasy communicators.
She's got like the blanket over, like she dragged herself out of bed with the blanket still over her shoulders, so she just looks like a little old woman. And she's got the pin at her mouth, like, "Where are you?"
Do I even recognize that voice?
No,
like...
you
roll perception.
No, you recognize like the effects of the pins, like they have, like what that is. So only one of 4 people could be talking to you right now.
I'm downstairs.
Okay. She hangs up the pin.
Okay. As you arrive downstairs, Eisen, there's a table of food out there. Barry has finally washed his hands, so they're now just kind of a dull pink than a very dark red. You see Kat kind of teetering around, like cleaning up like broken bottles and things like that. Tony sitting at the dinner table with just a pint ale mug that you see is full of coffee, and you take a sniff and something else. And it's a fairly basic but very hearty spread before you. There's potatoes, eggs, bacon, the
nothing usual.
No, nothing nothing fancy, because like normally there's like French toast, cinnamon rolls,
just the basics.
Yeah, there was a war yesterday, so it's a very basic sort of breakfast that is laid for all of you. And you see Barry just kind of behind the bar, and you just hear him grumbling to himself. It's like, goddamn invader, making Barry get violent. Barry don't like violence. He's just like teetering back and forth, picking stuff up, wiping the bar down, picking up like fallen over bottles.
Eisen takes a seat, kind of just still thinking about what, just everything, what he saw, the sense of relief, and nothing out of the ordinary, just eats.
Mm-hmm. Amiria, you and Draft come down the stairs, sit down,
do they?
Have some food. There's a silence about the table, but it's a comfortable one. Everyone's just kind of like in their own heads.
Karma obviously makes her way down.
Are you still wearing the blanket cloak?
Yes.
Okay. You watch as this bundle of blankets stumbles down the stairs.
This is no longer Karma. This is just Hannah.
Exactly.
We have become
the
one.
characters have become White Houses.
We are one. Bold of you guys to assume that Karma doesn't have literally all my flaws.
Oh, trust me, we knew.
Yeah, that's not a shock to anybody.
Hannah projecting on her D&D character? What?
I mean, none of us can afford therapy. This is all we got.
Me inserting every flaw
Speak
I've ever
for
had.
yourself.
No, Karma's a better person than me. Somehow. Magically. I mean, it's not that hard.
You arrive at the breakfast table.
She sits.
Tony looks at you. It's like, "Good morning, princess."
What are my potatoes? Babushka. And I like the idea that there's little lumps where her horns are over the blanket.
He passes the plate of like home fries over to you.
Babushka. Got my sick wizard tapestry to use as a prop. Babushka.
Jesus.
That sick wizard tapestry I was talking about many weeks ago that you guys potentially heard me doing, it's arrived and I look glorious.
Good lord.
Is there anything you guys would like to talk about at the breakfast table, or is it just kind of eating?
Eisen has
I have
nothing,
something if
Eisen
nobody
has,
else has anything.
Eisen has
Amiria.
nothing to say until somebody asks him.
Go, Amiria.
Barry, can you teach me how to rip someone in half?
Roll an insight check on Barry. Hang on, I have to pull up Barry's character sheet now. Where the fuck is he on this? I know I've got it. I know I've got him.
This is the greatest possible thing. I love Amiria that this is what she took away from her conversation with Draft, was that's what she tucked away in her brain, was like, Barry ripped a man in half? Oh my god.
We'll see.
Right.
I've been thinking about that since Zach said it.
At some point, working up in the tower, she got a glimpse of the backyard and remembered that Barry said not to look there, and was like, "Barry did that."
No, only Eisen was told not to look in the backyard.
That's true.
Oh, damn it.
Amiria could have gleefully looked in the backyard and been like, what?
Roll an insight check, please.
18 total.
18. He is like shocked by the request, and then like he kind of like looks at you, like cocks an eyebrow, and he's just like, "All right, Bear, I'll teach you."
Pardon?
Bear will teach you.
Oh, Barry, you're a godsend.
Yeah, not the people in the backyard. Then he just goes back to wiping down the bar.
Oh my god.
My man.
With that insight, it's like you can tell it's like you can tell a little bit like he definitely doesn't mind teaching you, but you can definitely tell that violence is not in his nature. He doesn't enjoy being as strong as he is, but he also doesn't like people fucking with his home even more than that. So it's like it's a little like Hulk Bruce Banner vibes going on, but like he's willing to teach you because he knows that it's for a good cause. But yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Draft just kind of gives you a look and then just kind of like shakes her head and smiles. Tony looks at the three of you. It's like, well, obviously everybody has earned themselves a little bit of a vacation, but at some point we're going to have to deal with the leftovers of all of this. Because we have got a new wrench in the works. That is, while we've gotten rid of their army, a lovely, intrepid band of assholes were able to escape Eisen's, I don't know what I want to call it. Death media.
Do I even remember what I did?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Your memory stops as the damage like overcame you. So
Okay.
you remember everything up to that point. Basically, as soon as you died, that's when the lights go out and the memory stops.
Cool.
It's not a thing for like right this instant, obviously.
Eisen kind of like is a bit annoyed that when it kind of like gives a visible annoyance at the fact that they got away. I mean, he knows that Mikhail's alive because of reasons, but that the others escaped.
I mean, he like Tony looks at you. It's like, I mean, we knew it was never going to be this easy. The fact that this went as well as it went is the blessing in disguise. But I know at some point,
I'm typing to Peter.
At some point,
He hit me.
yeah, remember what we talked about? Remember how I asked how many fucking DMs you've got open?
I had one, and it was just because I thought of my response to Peter. Hi, Peter. I'm so proud of you for making it this far. I love you. Mwah. Alex hit me.
At some
He
point,
smacked me very gently.
at some point, we're gonna have to talk to.
My life, and you dare lay a hand on me.
I will just mute your.
I will
fucking
kill you.
I will mute your fucking microphone.
I prefer Morgan killing me.
At some point, Andy and the council want to talk to all of us, probably, planning whatever is next. I know that the focus for a while is going to be putting the city back together. So, the real question then becomes, I don't know, what are our next steps? They still have their artifacts, we have ours.
After I use that gem, is it like expended now?
You haven't looked at it. Tony
Okay.
has it. He's willing to. It's locked away in the tower with all the other artifacts, but he's willing to show it to you if you'd like.
Oh no, I'm just like wondering if that was like a thing that happens, like if it's like a one-use type of thing.
He hasn't looked at it or examined it at all, so he doesn't have an answer for you. That would have to be something that probably either Draft or Karma would have to do because they're the magic-y people.
Honestly, I know we want, or at least the city wants and needs, to rebuild. But they're on the run. And I think we'd be foolish not to take advantage of that. And he kind of looks down and he's like, I had a dream last night. And Mikhail. Could I like sense that like that was like was that I'm gonna fuck you up and I'm not gonna forget this? Could I roll an insight? Could I roll an insight to kind of determine like whether he was pissed off in a you fucked us over kind of way, or pissed off in a that wasn't a big deal. I still got a bunch of shit for you type of pissed off. Like,
roll. Yeah, you can roll an insight. I'll allow that.
19 plus 8.
So 27.
So 27.
It was very much you fucked up my plans. You've heard Mikhail angry before.
Mhm.
You know what anger looks like to him, and you know what that sounds like, and you know what that feels like. This is less anger and more unbridled rage. You have you broke my favorite toy sort of thing.
Okay. So he continues and he's just... He did not sound happy. And I mean in the fact that we did something he did not expect. I realize we're tired. A bunch of things just happened. Granted, I should know. I just died. And that's still... I'm not sure how to deal with that. But they are scrambling. And I think we should find a way to take advantage of that.
Well, that could be one of the next steps. I know that's definitely something that Andy and the rest will want to talk to you about. We do have a secondary issue at hand, obviously, with the artifacts and Mikhail. And, you dying and coming back, that was issue 3, but that got solved pretty quickly. And Eisen, Tony looks at you and is like, you said you had a dream last night. Where'd you go? Usually you guys are only contacted in specific ways.
You weren't there. The rest of you were. The room. The time loop.
Timmy?
The white room.
The memory room.
Timmy.
No. The memory room is the place where you went to talk with the shadow with the crown of ice.
I thought okay. So,
They're all the
okay.
same place.
Okay, they're all the same.
It's
place.
all the
Okay.
same place. It's basically a physical
Wait.
representation of memory.
That's
Okay.
right. That's right. That was the room with the shadow. And then there was that time when Eisen went to go talk to Mikhail, and you had talked about it was that same room.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that
it's
There's-
all the same place.
And that
It's
was
all the
when
same
you
place.
that was when Eisen had learned
Yeah.
how important the book is to Mikhail.
Yeah.
That was the room.
So yeah, all of that is the exact same place
Okay.
as the time windows are there, but also the table is there, and then this new room that you walked in.
So that place, he explains.
All right. So yeah. So in terms of where that is, so just so everyone is aware, that's the same place you guys have gone every time you've been entering this sort of memory zone. And Tony looks at you, Eisen. It's like, so okay, you went there. Was there anything new? What happened? You guys usually don't go there unless it's something bad. Unfortunately.
Well, I was dead. It wasn't... It was a mixture of a dream and a memory of where I went when I was... And he kind of looks down. But yeah. Kind of with a slight perkiness, he did not sound happy. And in that kind of inflection, he almost kind of smiles because he's happy that Mikhail. It's kind of because Mikhail's one of those people. It's hard to get under his skin, and the fact that Eisen heard him with a voice of how dare you. Eisen's very finally we put a chink in his armor.
Knocked him down a peg.
Fuck yeah.
Amriel finally comes up to the breakfast table after coming out of the backyard. Looks at all of you, is like, I would not go back there. Your owl friend is particularly destructive. It is rather impressive. And, like, Barry's just behind the bar.
Both weirdly pleased with himself, but not, because he doesn't actually like doing it.
I think you guys probably need to pay the brothel staff more, like hazard pay.
Barry looks over and is like, I took care of it.
Thank you, Barry. You're so thoughtful.
How long has Barry been our accountant?
Barry does whatever Barry needs to do.
Fair. I would not argue with that, considering you tore someone in half.
So I guess the big question for all of you guys would be, it's because we're going into a time skip here, a small time skip. So is there anything you guys would want to do in particular? Because there are a few things that require the group as a whole. So I'm going to open the floor to all of you first. I know, Amiria, you want to learn how to rip someone in half as part of this, I assume.
I can do that, or I had another idea. If
You can
Barry
do both. You can
is not feeling it.
whatever you want to do. This is kind of your guys' time. You've got like a 3 to 6 month window that stuff is going to happen in.
Because what I'd like to do is I want to steal Eisen's Pepe Sylvia board
Okay.
and rededicate it to all of the 12 constructs and digging up everything I can on them. So literally just like expanding on his work.
Okay. I'll say that you're smart enough that you are able to kind of like copy it down and like you take his board and it's reset up in. You can reset it up in your room or in the main tavern, however you want to do it.
Nah, fuck it, my room.
Okay. Please roll me.
Oh god. I'm so stupid. This was a terrible idea.
I would like 2 investigations and actually no, 2 investigations and a history check.
Okay. I'm gonna do the investigations first, because they're gonna hurt. Ha! The first one's a nat 20. Never mind.
Hell yeah!
19. Okay, beautiful.
Fuck.
And the other one is a 19, so 18
There
total.
you go. Okay.
And the history, oh. That's embarrassing. 8.
And the history
total.
history's a +5 to that too. Okay.
Yep.
So what you're able to do is you're able to dig up, and with Amriel's actually, you can roll the history with advantage because Amriel would help you with this.
Sweet.
I just realized that.
Oh, I rolled worse.
Okay, so 8 remains.
Embarrassing.
So with your investigation checks and with a little bit of Amriel's help as much as you can, you're able to roughly determine. You know that there remains one construct in the Baldur's Gate region, like to the south. So you know one of them. You know one of them's there. Otherwise, you're able to kind of roughly suss out across Faerun where like the last known locations of a lot of these people were, but with that history check, so much of it is it's a lot of the same stuff that Eisen was running into and that all of you were kind of running into with the initial research to find Amriel. A lot of it is flowery myth because of how old these things are. Like, you know, on a blood moon during a blood moon in the 6th month of the harvest, from the forest will emerge a mystical mechanical being sort of things. But you've roughed out, you think, at least based on the stories, you have like kind of like spheres of where you think they were, their last known locations were. You're pretty aware, to the best of your knowledge, the construct in Baldur's Gate remains.
Right.
You have Amriel, and then you have rough ideas of the other 10. One of them, the closest one, was actually their last known location was Neverwinter. But that's honestly one of the coldest trails out there because they were like that could have been Amriel. It also could have been someone else. You're not 100% sure, but you're
Okay.
able to. You've got a starting point for research, and Amriel is very excited and happy. He would love to see if he could possibly find out what happened to his siblings and reconstruct what his missing memories are as well.
All right.
And then eventually we'll have Barry train you in person ripping. But Eisen and Karma, is there anything you guys want to do?
For what? This is what?
It's going to be a time skip. There's also going to be a meeting with the High Council with Lady Andromeda and everyone, where you guys will receive your rewards for the defense of the city as well, because that's definitely coming. So we can do that first if you guys don't have any ideas for the time skip. But yes, Karma.
I need a pee so hecking bad.
Okay. 27:21. Go.
I'll
run.
go as fast as fuck.
Go run.
Did she not go to the bathroom during the break?
I think she's just been drinking a lot of fluid. But no, she didn't go to the bathroom during the break. Because you and I, Morgan, are the only competent group of people in this podcast. Alex is a himbo, Hannah is a shimbim, and we have all the brain cells.
It gets more clear every single time we record.
I'm sorry. Who's got the favorite character?
Of the one person, and again, it's like
I'm just giving you shit.
their opinions should not be trusted because they love asshole Eisen. If they loved like current Eisen, like yeah, no, current Eisen's a great character. It's like what episode? It's like I'm on episode 23. It's like why do you like that Eisen? That Eisen sucked. I tried to kill that Eisen once or twice.
Yeah, and they won't get to me for like 50 more episodes.
They're burning through them pretty quick. There's a reason I try to keep these things an hour long. I want this done. I want someone to finish 2 episodes in a commute. I'd love to do 3-hour episodes, but I am not Matthew Mercer.
I mean, we could
I don't
do 3
know if
hour
anyone-
episodes, but because we basically film 3-hour episodes, but it's better to just have them as one so we can sum up things easier.
It keeps the story succinct, and I don't have to edit 3-hour chunks of audio. All right. But yeah, so if Karma and Eisen, if you guys haven't thought of what you want to do during the time skip, we can just hop into the reward meeting with
let's just
Lady
do that real
Andromeda. Okay.
I mean, during the time skip, honestly,
Well, unless you have an idea.
Because you can just do general things if you'd like, and I can work off that too.
I mean, I don't know. Eisen's not sure where this is gonna go, but he kind of, I don't know. He feels good about. I don't know if he thinks it's anything that he did, but it kind of reminds him of his past, and he likes it, and he wants to kind of get those kids together and maybe talk to them about what happened, maybe get their stories, and maybe see if there's more that he can do, or if he can even form something. Like, I don't know. I think he's at a point in his life where he's just like, I am sick of this all being about me. Like, I don't know. I feel like I can do something.
Okay.
That extends beyond myself.
Okay. That's definitely something we can. That's definitely something we can work with. That's more general, so we'll.
I know,
We'll
but,
we'll,
like,
we'll tackle that over a
that's
series
fine.
of things.
I'm just like, I think that's something. And he also, I think he feels a bit of the weight of the metal now that it's on him.
Mm-hmm.
And if he can, I think he wants to go out and be a part of the city and be a visible person helping rebuild, and not being someone who's like, oh, I'm the savior of the city. Look at me. I'm so great, but I'm here in the dirt
No, that makes sense.
Doing,
we can.
doing the things that anybody should be expected to do.
Well, yeah, we can. We can absolutely tackle that. That's
Okay.
definitely something that can happen. So we'll start with your guys' rewards.
Honestly, if you've ever seen the movie Kingdom of Heaven,
yes, I've seen that. Yes.
kind of like what Balian does when he gets his plot of land. He kind of feels like I need to do something. And
I
he's
get
out
that.
there like working with everybody and inspiring through action, not some sort of power that he's been given.
I totally get that.
Cool.
So we'll tackle that as well. We'll start with the rewards because that might also spark some ideas you guys would have. But all of you, not too long after, like maybe 2-3 days after the battle, you guys head to the Neverwinter Palace. It's somewhat damaged. There's like some scarring on the white marble and things like that. But you guys you enter and you're ushered into Lady Andromeda's chambers, and she has on her desk 3 small chests, and each of you are standing there. Lady Andromeda walks out from around the desk, and she looks at all of you, and she gives you a smile. She looks tired, but tired in the way that someone whose city was attacked, and she's probably been putting stuff back together for many days. And she looks at all of you and it's like, well, thank you can only go so far when it comes to people who, well, without you, I don't think we would have made it the way that we did. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, all of you. Second, and she goes to Emiria and Karma and pins the same medal that Eisen has to each of your chests. This recognizes you as champions and heroes of the city of Neverwinter. Should you ever need any aid, should you find yourself in a predicament, this is as much of a signal of my power as it is the power of the cities.
To clarify, does that mean that if I go into a potion shop, the lady won't question my purchases and she'll just see this and go, oh, damn.
It's not a goddamn veteran discount
we've gone
card.
Full circle. No, do you remember the episode where she got thrown out of the potion shop?
Oh shit, yes.
I think about that daily.
God damn it.
I think about that daily because she had to drag Eisen in and say, Eisen, she doesn't know who I am. And she's like, Eisen, she doesn't know who you are either. And Eisen was just like, excuse me? Eisen's priority went straight from, oh my God, is Karma bothering you too? You don't know who the fuck I am? I am Eisen. And Karma feels the same way. So just to clarify.
Children.
Lady Andromeda looks at all of you.
Eisen remembers all of this and is very much like trying to hold in a like chuckle under his breath, like a snicker. Like he's just like,
he's never been more attracted to Karma in his life.
He's just like, God, she's so petty. I love her.
He
Good
what?
Lord.
Lady Andromeda.
I didn't say shit out loud. That was in my head.
That was in my head.
Lady Andromeda looks at you. She looks at you, kind of puts her hands together, looks very much you in the eye, Karma, and she said, as I explained to Eisen when I first offered him this medal, with it comes a lot of responsibility. Please do not abuse the signet of the city to torture its very traumatized populace at the moment.
That's not what I said. I didn't say traumatized.
Your Grace, I will keep them both on a short leash.
Thank you. You can call me Andy.
Listen, Andy.
Thank you.
Not
you.
Karma shuts up.
After
my God, the impossible has happened. Karma has voluntarily shut her mouth.
Ayo.
As she turns back to her desk and walks behind it and sits there. And it's like, as for your true reward, please. And she motions to the 3 small chests on the desk.
I don't speak for everybody, but just in case, I think it'd be cool if we all stepped forward, kind of in that like end of was it? I think it was God, my brain. It was a new. Is it?
New Hope?
It's a New Hope where they get the medals, right?
Yes,
Yeah, I
A
think
New
it's
Hope.
very much that kind of scene right now where we each go up and we open our chest.
Except there's no one else here.
It is not a public ceremony.
It's not
I'm just saying,
That's the only
like, but
difference
it's
here.
just but like, I think we should do this with distinction.
Okay, we
Eisen
practiced.
wants pomp and circumstance.
Okay.
See,
I
my
also- I
brain
also
went
feel
straight
bad that I couldn't
to
remember
dibs
if that-
on
I
Charmander.
also felt
Yes, all of the
Emiria runs for the one with that looks like fire.
all of the chests are engraved with like small little animal motifs, and one of them,
one is a small lizard with a seemingly flaming tail.
Emiria just rushes for it.
Fuck you! I love Charizard.
Morgan, we all know you're a Squirtle person. You don't have to lie to us.
I know. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I know you, and you know I'm Bulbasaur.
Yeah.
All right, all of you step forward and take
Fuck
your chest.
Charmander.
Eisen claims his angry boy.
All of you,
Charmander.
all of you-
Bulbasaur and Squirrel's where it's at.
all of you step forward and open your chests. And as you open them, you guys are almost blinded by when the light hits the gem that sits within these on a small velvet pillow.
Is
And-
another one of those bitches?
And both Karma and Eisen, you will recognize this. Another star sapphire sits here. Emiria, for you, you would recognize this. It's a star sapphire. This is one of the most rare and magical crafting materials that exists in the world. Its gold equivalent is 5,000 gold.
Holy shit.
And
Karma leans over to Emiria, like,
You know, if you wanted to really like spice things up, show this to Draft, because like I showed her one when I wanted her to fix up my cloak, and hot diggity damn, that girl was like,
I don't like your implication
Eisen's
there.
sorry.
Eisen's very
I will say,
uncomfortable.
if you want to get heckin' boned fucking down,
I slap my mouth, or I
slap my own
I
mouth.
slap my hand. I slap my hand over Karma's mouth.
and Emiria, you
Karma
would
looks at Eisen.
Eisen kind of gives you the I ain't helping you on this one.
I'm not your boyfriend yet. Emiria, you
We
would
slept in the same bed and did nothing.
It meant nothing to me.
You left room for the Holy Spirit.
They did. Karma, you're pregnant now.
Damn it. I knew it.
At least that'll piss Quinn off.
It would. Oh my god. He'd be so fucking pissed, though. But
So-
for real.
Emiria, you would be.
No, we are not having a fucking pregnancy arc in our D&D
Absolutely.
campaign. I will actually end my own life.
I will kill
Morgan,
both of you
Morgan
right
would
now.
probably legitimately drive down here just
You have been disintegrated.
just
Your
to
body
murder
is no
me.
longer there. You can't be resurrected. Goodbye.
Yeah, exactly.
Morgan would come down
Nope.
here just to murder me
Your
in my
god-
sleep.
The gods that still be
Yep.
smite you.
Yeah, the gods that
We won't.
remain.
We won't. I promise, Morgan.
But Emiria, you would be aware of the fact that like this is as far as a crafting material goes, like this would be like a way for you to upgrade like the hour hand of Kronos, or like something like create something massively potent.
Okay.
And you've been around Eisen and Karma enough that they would probably have shown you like what they did with their previous gems. So like you're very aware of the power of these artifacts. But yeah, you all have this, and Lady Andromeda turns to all of you. It's like, this is one of the greatest remaining treasures we have in the vaults of Neverwinter, and I cannot think of a better reward for people who will allow us to continue our existence. Thank you, and may this boon help you on whatever journeys you have next. Now that the fun is over, we need to deal with the aftermath of all of this. And she looks at you, Eisen's like, Tony, explain to me the idea that you had of pursuing the Legion. And as much as I would love to be able to do that, we can't spare the necessary force we would absolutely need. alone, what they were able to do during that fight was a terrifying thought, and I would not feel right not sending you with part of the guard to help you finish this. But they're needed here. The city must be rebuilt, and we should strike out from a place of strength, lest we run into a trap or a counterattack. We know we've bled them. They will need a while to rebuild. And I think that we shouldn't be hasty when it comes to what we need to do, both as a city and you as some of its protectors.
Eisen kind of gives an agreeable nod. Like, just yeah. That's he agrees. Like, he's like, you're right. It was a bit.
It makes
He was a bit like, we've got them on the run, but he understands that like this is also a time for us to regain. And yeah, if we could walk in there with an army at our back, it'd be a lot better.
Yeah. Finally, Lady Andromeda pulls out like a small piece of cloth. It's like the final thing, and I wanted to discuss with you, and this is the thing that has escaped us most of all, is that the Legion either has changed in their lead up to attacking us, or they've revealed a new aspect of their partnership with other organizations across the world. This is a symbol that we have never seen before, but all of you are fairly well traveled, so I was hoping you might be able to shed some light. And she pulls out in that piece of cloth. She unwraps the piece of cloth. This was taken off the hand of one. This was taken off the hand of one of the core commanders of some of the troops, and our spies report that all of the leaders of the Legion wear this as well. You see laying in this like small gold cloth a little gold signet ring, almost like it's made for wax sealing. And the symbol set in the center of the ring is a 5-pointed star with an open palmed hand in its center, kind of like almost like reaching out of the star. And Lady Andromeda turns to all of you. It's like, do any of you recognize this symbol? Is this something you would be aware of?
Assuming we're not making checks.
Yes.
Oh.
Karma immediately looks to Amelia.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what that is.
We both. I mean, I, because I'm assuming neither of us know what that is. So we both. Eisen looks over like, what?
Not even with a history check, neither of you would recognize this. And Lady Andromeda turns to you and says, if you don't mind me asking, what is it?
It's the Monastery of Eternal Light.
You guys can.
That is where I'm from.
Lady Andromeda was like, oh dear.
Yeah. You said this was on generals too?
All of their leadership, from what our spies have reported, wear this ring, and any of the high-ranking commanders within their army were also wearing it. We were able to capture a few documents that were also sealed with this symbol.
I don't know what they would have to gain by working with the Legion. I can give you a name, but that's about it. It's unusual for them to
A name
want to leave the monastery.
A name helps. That will give our researchers something to work off of. Thank you, Amiria. Would you She kind of awkwardly sort of hands it to you. Would you like it?
She puts a hand out, very clearly not sure, but takes it anyway.
If you would rather not, feel free to return it at any time. Thank you. I'm sure this will not be the last time we talk in the coming days and weeks. So, if anything else comes to mind, please don't hesitate to send word.
I'll do that.
Thank you. She bows to all of you and dismisses you out of the chamber. What would the three of you like to do? You can head back to the tipsy table. You can...
On the way back, I'm gonna... Because I want to ask Amiria about...
Same.
What is the... I never asked... I don't think I've ever... I guess I could ask her kind of in character, out of character. Would we have talked about this at all? Obviously I didn't know the symbol, but would we have, in our time before, did we ever talk about where you came from as a monk, or was it just you were always on the ship and that's how I always knew you? It's a
definitely she's just always been with this ship kind of thing.
Okay.
Maybe offhanded mentioning oh, I'm a monk because I was at a monastery. It was never specific.
Okay. I think Eisen's you've said this to Eisen before, what the fuck? Why didn't I know this before? Eisen's now returning the favor, what the fuck? Why didn't what the fuck, sis?
Sibling fight.
Explain? Not in an angry way, but just because he obviously, you could make me roll for it, but I think he could feel the concern in her voice. What's going on?
It was fair. I think it was fairly obvious to everyone's this is not something good. But I will as you guys make your way back to the tavern. I'll allow you guys. This is where you can kind of talk amongst thyselves.
Eisen being, I don't know, somewhat in touch with his feelings. Kind of looks at her on as we exit, and it's just I'm not one for this, but I could see the concern on your face and in your voice. What's wrong?
It doesn't make sense. The monks, where I came from, they're isolated, they're insular. We didn't talk to people outside of the monastery, let alone care about world politics. And there were monks living there that are not purebred. I don't understand how these pieces go together.
What is your monastery? What was... All right, so when I was a part of the church, and the clerics, they have a mission depending on the whatever doctrine you are. They have a mission statement, what they stand for. What was that for you?
What
does the Monastery of Light? What is there? Or Eternal Light? What is...
The difference between us and clerics is that clerics follow gods. We very specifically didn't. It was focused on the power of the mortal. The gods are only a distraction, keeping us from how great we can be on our own merit. It's, I don't know, a way of life, but you spend so much time meditating and thinking about your own feelings and never leaving the monastery that until I left, I didn't care what the rest of the world was doing. It wasn't even a thought in my mind. So I don't know why they would be... outside of the temple. Something's wrong, or very strange, at least.
This is just me thinking. But some of that ideology fits. If one thinks that they are superior based on their race, and the gods, for the most part, seem to accept all races as long as you're willing, then the focus on the self seems like they could go hand in hand with a bit of misleading or not coercion,
I see what
manipulation.
you mean, though.
If someone's manipulating you to think that it's all about you and what you can do, and then they pervert that with the idea that your race somehow enhances that, do you think they could have corrupted leaders of the temple? And that's me thinking lightly. The temple could be involved. I don't know. I'm just ideas.
I also haven't been there in 40 years. It's been a while.
Do you think this opts for a trip back home?
I don't know. I don't know how much we can gain. What if we get all the way there and there's no one at the temple because they're all in the Legion army? What will we learn then?
Well, no, we have another enemy. That we didn't before. And knowledge is power. To an extent.
That's fair. Means the two of you are going to have to get very good at fighting monks very quickly.
Well, it's a good thing we know one, isn't it?
Convenient.
I can use my mind to push people.
Karma says,
That's
like
very
her
good,
little
sweetheart.
her little head just
Karma's-
poking in between them, like as they're talking, just like right in between them. Her little
Eyes
head.
and pats Karma said, that's very nice.
Thank you. Also, Emiria.
Karma like kind of straightens back. She's kind of like poking, like fidgeting.
I understand if going home is hard. If you need time.
I think we're all going to need some time.
Yeah.
Karma nods.
You guys make your way back to the tipsy table. At this point, it's probably about mid-afternoon, at least on this particular day. Emiria, as you arrive back home, whenever you end up in your room at some point during the day, please roll me a history check.
Oh god, I'm scared of everything now.
You gave him your backstory. You should be scared.
Sup, bitch.
Morgan gave me the opportunity to read their backstory for Emiria, and I was like, I'm gonna avoid this question. I don't want to read it.
I like not knowing. It makes it
I love
feel
not
so
knowing.
cool. Yeah.
I know. I live for not knowing.
I got a 23.
23. All right. You cast your mind back to the days leading up to your departure from the monastery. And you remember, like, you're just trying to think, it's been so long, and you've buried this part of you for a while, but you think and you think and you think, and finally a memory surfaces, and it kind of strikes you like a thunderbolt. As you remember, as you were walking the halls one day, and you walked past the chamber of the martyr, where they did their work and meditation. And you, like, heard them having a heated discussion, which was strange. Emotion was obviously never a thing. So the fact that you heard anger was so odd to you. And so you stopped for a moment and you listened in. And the only thing you remember, like the thing that strikes you most clearly, is a singular voice. A voice you had never heard in the monastery up to that point. But you heard a singular voice and a chilling... There was a chilling phrase that had that has stayed with, that has buried itself in your mind, and it finally strikes you, and you feel your blood run cold as you finally put the pieces together 40 years later, as you remember. You know what terrifies you more than anything in the world? It's the root of all your fears is death. It's the sheer indignity of mortality. Reality of your very mortal condition. Ultimate price of the ride, baby. Nobody gets out alive. I can fix that. And as Mikhail's voice echoes in your mind, Emiria, and 40 years of memory comes rushing back, and that first of what might be many terrible connections starts to flood your brain as you now stare at the Pepe Silvia wall. That is where we will end our episode for today. Thank you all so much for joining us for another episode of Dances with Dice. Please follow us on all social medias at Dances with Dice. When you use the hashtag DWDcast or DWDart, we will make you named NPCs in the show. Thank you all so much for listening, and join us every single Tuesday for new episodes of Dances with Dice.